The roads Ibrahim Traoré is building every single year are not just impressive. They are completely rewriting what people thought was possible in Burkina Faso. Because for over half a century since independence, the entire country managed to build only around 3,000 kilometers of paved roads. Decades of French influence, foreign contractors, loans, and development programs. Yet the road network remained small, fragile, and in many areas barely usable. But now, under Traoré, that story is changing at a speed no one expected. The plan is simple but extreme. 5,000 kilometers of paved roads every single year. Just think about that for a second. That is more than what was built in decades, now being attempted in a single year. And it's not just a plan on paper. Because right now, on the ground, something very real is happening. Look at this scene. Endless lines of heavy-duty trucks rolling into Burkina Faso, carrying bulldozers, graders, excavators, compactors, entire fleets of construction machinery arriving in waves. A Burkina Faso citizen standing at the site explains it directly. They didn't just announce change, they actually brought in the equipment. And you can see it for yourself. This is happening in real time. By the authority of the people, the government officially handed over these machines in 2 major batches. The message was clear: use them fast, use them efficiently, and build infrastructure for both the military and the population. But there was also urgency in the tone, because the goal is not slow progress. The goal is speed. Earthworks must move quickly. Infrastructure must rise fast. The entire system has to shift from planning to execution. And what's emerging from that pressure is already visible. New roads are forming across the country. Smooth, wide, modern highways are replacing the old dirt paths that once defined Burkina Faso. Roads that now look like something you would expect in fully developed nations. But here's what surprises many people the most. These roads are not being built the traditional way. No expensive foreign contractors dominating every step. No long chains of external dependency. No inflated costs from international intermediaries. Instead, everything is being built locally. Burkina Faso itself is doing the construction. Citizens are part of it. Soldiers are part of it. Engineers, youth groups, even ordinary civilians are all contributing. From manufacturing pavement blocks, to transporting sand, to physically laying materials on the roads. There are even stories of elderly citizens contributing what they can, like bags of cement bought from personal savings, simply because they want their names tied to the rebuilding of their country. One elderly woman explained it simply. She believed in the initiative, so she contributed. Not because she was asked, but because she felt part of it. This is where Burkina Faso's model becomes unusual. Nation building is no longer just a government project. It has become a collective movement. And this is exactly what the state calls Faso Mayabo, meaning building the fatherland. Launched as the backbone of the Road and Urban Transformation Program, Faso Mayabo is built on one idea: use local labor, local materials, and national coordination instead of foreign dependency. In just its early rollout in the capital, the program has already paved nearly 9 kilometers of urban roads in a short period, with entire districts being resurfaced, expanded, and modernized. New asphalt, new sidewalks, new drainage systems. Entire boulevards are being rebuilt from scratch. And all of it is done with local labor. The government frames it as a cost-cutting revolution, because instead of outsourcing a single street to foreign companies, they mobilize communities, military engineering units, and trained youth brigades to execute the work directly. That shift alone changes everything, because traditionally, road construction in Africa can cost between 300 million and 600 million CFA per kilometer, depending on contractors, imports, and external services. But with this model, costs can reportedly drop by 60 to 80%. And that changes the scale of what becomes possible. But to understand why this shift is so dramatic, you have to go back. When Traoré came into power in 2022, Burkina Faso was already under pressure. Road infrastructure was weak, security was unstable, large parts of the country were affected by conflict, and economically, the country was heavily dependent on external loans and foreign contractors. Even basic infrastructure projects required approval, financing, and execution from outside powers. That system came with conditions, delays, and dependency. Traoré's philosophy changed that completely. From day one, he pushed a doctrine of self-reliance. No more waiting for permission, no more dependence on foreign systems for basic national infrastructure. Instead, build internally. That mindset led to one of the most aggressive infrastructure targets in Africa today, 5,000 kilometers of roads per year. To put that in perspective, Burkina Faso built roughly 3,600 kilometers of paved roads over more than 6 decades. That means the new target is not just ambitious, it is nearly 100 times faster than historical averages. And to support that speed, the state invested in massive construction capacity. Hundreds of machines were acquired, military engineering units were expanded, local training programs were introduced to teach citizens how to operate equipment and build infrastructure. Soldiers became builders, engineers became trainers, civilians became contributors. And the result is a system where construction no longer depends on slow external contracts, but on direct national execution. There is also a political and economic layer to this strategy. By building roads internally, Burkina Faso keeps money circulating inside its own economy. Jobs are created locally, materials are sourced locally, skills are developed locally. Even mining revenues are being redirected into infrastructure instead of external debt cycles. Of course, not everything is entirely isolated from foreign support. Some major highways still involve external financing, including partnerships and loans. But the core of the transformation, the daily road building, the urban expansion, the mass mobilization, is happening internally. And the pace is undeniable. Urban pilot projects have already delivered visible results in under a year. Highway expansions are underway across multiple regions, and the number of active construction sites has multiplied rapidly. But perhaps the most powerful part of this entire transformation is not just the roads. It's the mindset. Because across Burkina Faso, something deeper is happening. Citizens are not just watching development, they are participating in it. Soldiers train civilians, engineers supervise local teams, students and volunteers join construction efforts. Even children are being introduced to national service values and basic infrastructure work. It creates a sense that development is not something imported, but something built together. And that shift in psychology may be even more important than the roads themselves, because it turns infrastructure into identity, and identity into momentum. Now, whether this model becomes a long-term success or faces major challenges later, one thing is already clear. Burkina Faso has changed the conversation. It has challenged the idea that African development must always depend on foreign contractors, foreign loans, and foreign timelines. Instead, it is testing a different idea, that a country can build itself faster, cheaper, and with its own people at the center. And if that experiment continues to scale, it won't just change Burkina Faso. It could reshape how infrastructure is built across the entire Sahel, and maybe even beyond